Okay, we're going to get started, guys. My name's Randy Dougherty. I'm the moderator of this seminar. It's April 3rd, Nashville, Tennessee, and our discussion is going to be on asymmetrical choreography. You want to do the handouts? You want to pass them around to the different people? I'm going to start off showing you a few things, but I'm really going to turn the show over to Hal. Hal has, this is Hal Barnes, by the way. Would you give him a nice hand? He's been calling since 1965. He started in the Colorado Springs area. He has lived in Pittsburgh, Chicago, Denver, and his wife Elaine, I think I don't know if she's in the room. She's not in the room, but she's out shopping. But he's called in the Washington, D.C. area for the last 25 years. He became interested in calling the asymmetrical stuff and has worked on it for 30 years. He wrote a book back in 1993 about asymmetrics, and he has now updated it, and he has made this available on booklet form, or you can get it as a CD also. His mentors were Frank Lane and Don Franklin, and I think it's probably because he called in that area where they grew up in the Colorado area. Actually, this kind of came about by a discussion at last year at the Las Vegas. Was it Las Vegas we were at? Hal I'd met a couple of years before when he came down to the valley to dance, and I met him, and then we saw each other again in Las Vegas, and we were actually in the men's room. And I was in the stall, and Mike Sikorsky was standing at the wall, and Hal was washing his hands, and Mike starts doing some questions about Hal, saying somehow they started talking about asymmetrics. And Hal said, "Oh, yeah, I'm really interested in that." And Mike says, "Well, send me what you got." And then I heard that, so I said, "Hey, send me what I got, what you got to me." And
then
so
there were two guys came out of the stalls, and they said, "Hey, send me a copy too."
But anyway, he started redoing the book that he wrote in 93, and he has got a method of doing asymmetrics where you can easily keep track and resolve squares, and he'll explain that. My idea of asymmetrical stuff, we all know that asymmetrical is, taking the center line and dividing it, and you got a mirror image as far as the one half of the square compared to the other half. Usually when I do this, I sight call three couples. I got to know three couples. So it's kind of like hexagon calling almost. Because when you're doing hexagon calling, you got to cite three couples to keep primary, secondary, and then the thirdary. Well, my handout, I have some examples of mainstream choreo, and then I got some stuff of plus choreo, which is all pretty much based on what Hal is going to be talking to you about. The other page that's part of my handout, it says Gimmicks by Randy Dougherty. And gimmicks kind of fall into the category of asymmetrical stuff. If you have number one lady do this or number three couple do that, you have started down the path of asymmetrical stuff. I'm not going to read these to you, but I want to show you the examples of what happens on a couple of the gimmicks. So could we get a square up quickly? It'd be nice if we had 4 girls and 4 guys. Hal is handing them out as you walk around the room. Need another couple of couples. Yeah, the asymmetric thing, if you're calling for a gay club or whatever, and you got 8 men out there or 8 ladies or whatever it is, the asymmetric doesn't have the full effect because they don't realize, hey, this is asymmetrical stuff. Couples 1 and 2, who are you? 1 and 2 do a right and a left through. As soon as you do that, we've put everything into asymmetricals, okay? Notice that couple 2 is across from couple 3 and so on. After that, I'd say same 2 ladies chain on a diagonal. The number 2 lady, identify yourself, chain to the right on a new diagonal, chain with the girl you see. Head positions, somehow I need to get them half-size shade, so I could do a square through 3 and a U-turn back or a roll away or any equivalent. Just do a half-size shade, heads. Stay that way, okay? Couple number 4, who are you? Mr. Clark, I'll be talking to you after the session. Okay. Number 4 couple, walk across the square, get nose to nose with that couple over there. Now, hold on to that couple's hands, and when you drag them back to your side of the square, and here's the get out, Alaman left. Everybody. Back to your partner. Promenade home. Are you home? So, you have to prearrange all of that stuff. You can't just do it on the fly lots of times. Hal is going to show you how to do it on the fly. Okay? 2 and 3, who are you? Do a right and left through. Same ladies chain on a diagonal. Side positions, reverse the flutter wheel. So that's going to be the equal of 2 ladies chain, right? Side positions, half-size shay. Couple number 2, walk over, get nose to nose with that couple over there, and split that couple and go around 1, make a line. New couple 3, walk over, face old original number 1, do a right and left through. Step into a wave. They got a wave there. I think this is different than what I wrote down, but it still works the same. This is an equivalent, okay? And what I wrote down was right and left through and a square through 2. So I just made an ocean wave, explode the wave, get a new couple in the vicinity of a new couple, see who they are, okay? And square through 4. Now I use this a lot if I'm working with a caller and I've done this before, and I pretend I'm lost, but really if I look at it, I got everybody with a corner. All the men are in sequence, the girls are in sequence, and so I'll say, wait a minute. I'll check my notes. They'll giggle. I'll then say, take it, Dee Dee, and she'll pretend that she's lost, when really she knows the answer. The get out is girls run or fold, Alaman left, come back home and square your set. All right, this pretty well falls into the gimmick category, gimmicks, okay? Here's one last gimmick. Couples 1 and 2 do a right and left through. Side positions do a right and left through. Heads promenade outside halfway around, head positions. All the heads lead over to the right, face that couple you see. Remember what couple number you were? Square through your couple number. Only one if you're couple 1. 2, 3, 4. Okay, look at the setup now, okay? I've really got all out of the mess that I had. I have the heads with their partner, and the sides are back to back with their partner, aren't they? But the sides are over on the other side of the square, okay? Ends, look forward and trade all the way down to the other end. And when you get down there, do a star through, and the centers touch a quarter, and the centers do a circulate the box, and that boy run, and you're back home. So those are things that I use as gimmicks. What Hal does is changes things. This would be calling what in the swamplands by your terminology? It's kind of undefined. It's undefined in his stuff. Okay. Anyway, if you pay close attention, I guarantee you it's going to be well worth it. I thought I knew a lot about asymmetrical stuff after 40-some years of experience of calling, but this guy here, just because of his, I guess is it engineering degree that you have, or he's really come up with a good method. So I'm going to turn it over. Would you give a nice hand to Hal Barnes?
Thank you. Let me add on to, you're standing on my thing here. Let me add on to Randy's story about how we got here. I was I had come, put out a book 20 years ago, and I'd come to CALLERLAB trying to get some people interested in, hoping to have a birds of a feather session. And I talked to a few people that I thought would be interested, and absolutely nobody cared. Nobody was interested, so I went home. I've always been fascinated by it, and I kept working on it and material. So last year, as Randy said, I was in the men's room, and people started coming up to me saying, hey, I want a copy, I want a copy. So I rewrote it. I started in June, and because I'd learned something in the last 20 years. And I put it on my website, and it's available for you to go get. And incidentally, the full book, it's about 90 pages, is available in the CD, but I version control it, and it's version 10 that's in there. But if you should get it from my website because it's version 12 right now. And
Hal, do you need the square, or can we let them rest?
I will need you in a minute, but take a couple minute break, okay? And actually, we have matching outfits to put on for them in a second. So yeah, thank you. Take a couple minute break. So the bottom line there is if I'd only known 20 years ago to start in the men's room, I think things could have come out differently. There are the stuff Randy was doing absolutely fits into asymmetrical choreography, but it's in a different direction than I'm going. What I'm doing is driven by some principles here that I'm going to do a little bit of a chalk talk, and then we're going to get back and dance again. But you need to know where I'm coming from, okay? Here it is. The asymmetrical stuff is like seasoning. If you use a little bit of it, it improves the taste. If you use a lot of it, it kind of kills the whole deal, okay? So we're going to be spending this hour saying asymmetric is the most important thing in the world, but it's not, okay? It's something that you use as a variety, give you variety, and something the dancers haven't seen. I want to get the biggest bang for the buck. As Randy said, if you go with totally unconstrained asymmetric dancing, you have to follow 6 dancers. Okay, some callers can do that. Randy can do that. I can't, and I'm not even interested in trying. I want to get all the benefits of the asymmetrics, like the 4 men in one line, 4 ladies in the other, but I don't want to have to do the work. So I've spent 30 years working on this, how to get something for nothing. I begin to sound like an Occupy protester at that regard. The third thing is, so I'm willing to have some constraints in exchange for making it very easy. And that's what I've done. I will show you. Everyone in here will be able to go out, and you will be able to call extemporaneous asymmetric figures when you leave today. I'm going to be into the teaching mode. I'm not showing a bunch of figures. I'm teaching you how to do it. I'm into teaching. So if that's why you're here, you're at the right place. Randy kept talking about the gimmicks. I would like to rebrand asymmetrical calling as an extension of regular calling instead of being viewed as a gimmick. So there are other kinds of asymmetrics than what I'm doing, but everything I'm doing, I'm all about smooth flow and when we're dancing. So everything I'm doing with asymmetrics is designed to have it fit into your normal square dance flow. And my idea is you should be able to get into the asymmetrics, get back out again, and the dancers would hardly notice from a flow point of view. Okay, it's not stop and go. That's driving my whole philosophy of asymmetrics. I don't want it to be a gimmick. I want it to be a part or an extension of your regular dancing. Okay, so you just need to know where I'm coming from. Here is the world map of asymmetrics, and you gotta understand this to be able to understand the rest of what we're doing today. Okay, up on the upper left is the symmetric region. That's where we are all the time. Okay, then over on the right is the asymmetric region, and the big thing there is asymmetric arrangements. That is, men and women are asymmetric, so we could have 4 men in one line, 4 ladies in the other, 3 in one. Okay, this down here in the middle, that is the mirror region. Okay, that's mirror formations. And what we do there, think about having one right-hand ocean wave, one left-hand ocean wave. We go there, we do our whole formation management in a mirror formation setup and then resolve out of there. That's where that's at. The bottom is the swamps of bad sequence, which is where Randy was. Now,
do you have to say bad?
Yeah, it is a value judgment.
It's not bad. It's just the other region.
Yeah, other region. Okay.
Other region.
The swamps of unfortunate sequence. Okay. And here's the deal. If you have couple 1 and 2 do a right and a left through and take each other's place, and then you start calling, from an arrangement point of view, the dancers don't notice any different. It looks normal, but you can't resolve it using normal site calling techniques. So what the deal is, there's no benefit for the dancer, and it's a bigger cost for the caller. Why go there? Okay, so I'm saying, when you're in one of these other regions and you jump out of it, we want to make sure, my whole strategy is this. We start in the symmetric region. We go over to the asymmetric region. We do our formation management. Everything looks different. We come back to the symmetric region and we resolve the square in the way we normally do. That's my strategy, and that strategy yields the easiest job when you're in the asymmetrics. All our talk today will be about that asymmetric region in the upper right, because that's all the time that I have, okay, for today. So we'll be focused on the upper right. When I'm done, Randy's going to come up and show you some stuff that he's done down in the mirror region. But I just want you to understand where we are from a region point of view. One announcement that I have, Reinhard Rodig, who's the CALLERLAB guy, and this has been an approved announcement, has a disk. His software supports all the asymmetric stuff. He has a runtime version of the software with all the examples from the book in it, and it's available for free, and you stop by out there and get it, okay? This is not he got permission from Dana for me to say that. We appreciate the people who are going to get up and dance. I have some good bound versions of the thing, which I will give to our dancers as an appreciation for their time doing it. That's the source. We're going to scratch the surface of what's in there, okay? So I think we are, at this point, ready for our square, and if we could get them to come back.
Does everybody have his handout now? So what's up on the screen, you should have a handout in it,
yeah,
so you can follow along.
The pictures that are on here are on the screen. Okay.
You ran out?
Then I have the screen, and the handouts are on the disk that's in there, and the handouts are also on my website. If you go to my website, halbarnes.com, and go into the caller stuff, the handouts will be there as well. But I have the pictures on the screen, and we'll be in good shape. This is on the CD. Not only is the handouts on the CD, the entire book is on the CD, much to my surprise. But as I said, it's version 10 that's on the CD. Version 12 is the current version. Okay, we got a square. Dancers, thank you very much for helping us out here. You callers that are dancing, be sure you see me and you get a copy of the book. Okay, normally. Notice that our diagonal opposite, when we were in the symmetric region, is always the same gender, right? So we got the headmen there, and that's the rule in the symmetric region. So when any two couples do a half sachet, that will put us in the asymmetric region. So let's have couples 1 and 2 do a half sachet. Okay. Now, notice what the diagonal opposite is. The diagonal opposite is the opposite gender. That is your test of whether you're in the asymmetric region or not. If you're asked at any point in time, where are we? Okay. If the diagonal opposite, okay, is the opposite gender, then we are in the asymmetric region. So, okay. So we're going to get into the first part of the dance in here, and the simple thing that everyone can do is do we have a wardrobe malfunction? Okay. The simple thing we can do is work on same-sex mini squares. So we're gonna go there first. So everybody get back in your normal position. Good. Let's have sides star through and spread. Okay. Everybody pass through, wheel and deal. Okay. In asymmetrics, we use near and far a lot. The near is the half of the square nearest the caller. The near two couples do a zoom. Near, just the near couples. Centers pass through. Step to an ocean wave. Okay, here are same-sex mini-squares. Not any ocean wave will do, okay? The head men, notice that the head men are in the middle. They are balanced, okay? Everybody swing through. Now the head men are on the end. They are still balanced. So this technique only works with squares, with ocean waves or with mini squares, where the head men are either both on the ends or both on the center. We have some constraints, and those constraints are designed to keep it that way. Here is our constraint. When you call to this square, you must call to it as if you are calling to each side to a standalone mini square. That's okay, just the single mini square. So here's a test. How can I, given that constraint, can I do an outfacer's run from here? The answer is no, because if the men are just a standalone mini square, who are the outfacers? Everybody's an outfacer because we do not have the context of the square. That's the idea, is think about each side as standalone, as if they're not in the square, they're just a single set of four guys out there. Okay, single hinge. Now can I do an outfacer's run? Yes, I can, because within that mini square, we have infacers and outfacers, okay? So you can kind of call, within that constraint, call anything you want to call. The whole purpose of this is to set up so you can do your own formation management and then get back. So let's just do a couple things. Scoot back. Okay, split circulate. Walk and dodge. Partner trade. Reverse flutter. Okay, the right person lead Dixie style to a wave. Left person come in and join right hands. Okay, so this is on my formation management. It could have been anything. Okay, now I want to get back out again. And the whole deal is, how do I get back to symmetric? And here's the technique for doing it. Take one wave and turn them into a left-handed wave. Things that work a little better if you have the ladies as the left-handed wave. So ladies trade the wave. Good. Then we have people facing across the set, okay? Those who are facing across the set pass through and take each other's place, okay? At this point, we are now symmetric, okay? Everybody will partner trade. At this point, we are now symmetric. Notice that the diagonal opposites are the same sex. So we're back in the symmetric world, and you go ahead and proceed to resolve this in the way that you normally do, okay? So star through from here. Okay, the people facing out do a zoom and the others back up. Is that a corner? Alaman left? I don't know. It's not a corner. Okay. Oh, square through. Okay. Centers do it. Centers California twirl and pass through. This is okay. And Alaman left. Come back and promenade, or come back home. See, I'm not going to impress you with get outs and stuff. The whole point is getting you to the asymmetric world and back again. Okay. So that's how this works. Notice, did I do any site calling while I was in the asymmetric region? None. Okay. I just went there, called whatever I wanted, came back to the symmetric world, and then I resolved. This is like a free lunch, okay? Let's do another one, okay? Here's another way to get into that setup. Let's have the heads slide through. The near column do a double pass-through. Same sexes trade and roll to face. Okay, everybody pass the ocean. Okay, and once again, note that we got the heads in the center, or both in the center. Now I can continue to do whatever I want. But we're going to move it up a notch. I'm not required to call equally to keep the two sides connected. So we can get into some asymmetric formations. Ladies spin the top. The men swing through.
Check your team.
Yeah, now we can continue calling just like this with asymmetric formations, and it all works. Okay, centers run. New centers hinge. Diamond circulate. Good. Flip the diamond. Oh, there we go. Good. Good. Ladies fan the top. Everybody single hinge. Okay. Follow your neighbor and only the men spread. Ladies center, ladies hang on. That's how I set them. Now remember, I need a right hand wave and a left hand wave to get back. So I did a follow your neighbor and only the men spread. That got me into a right hand wave and a left hand wave, okay? Now, before I did it from an ocean wave, I said those who are facing pass through, I don't have to be in waves, okay? Centers run. I can also be in two-face lines. So it gives you some variety. Those couples that are facing pass through, take each other's place. Okay, we are now symmetric. So I can go back and I can resolve the square like I normally do. Everybody do a partner trade. Okay, and then I'm going to have to pass through and the ends fold. Centers turn back. I don't know what I'm doing. And veer home. Okay, good. So you get the idea how this works? We go into the asymmetric world. Okay, we set it up there. We can call separately to the men, to the women. We can call anything we want to, and we use this technique of you get in one right-hand wave, one left-hand wave, centers pass through, or else we get into a two-face line. They pass through, and you resolve, okay? So it's free. Now, this leads to an interesting game. Let's imagine that Randy and I are on the same program. It's a stretch, but let's imagine that, okay? So here's the way this game is going to work. I'm going to set them up in the same-sex waves. And then from that point on, Randy's going to call to the ladies. We're going to alternate calls. He's going to call to the ladies. I'm going to call to the men. When the signal that he's ready to get out is he's going to put the ladies in a left-hand ocean wave and keep them there. I'm going to get the men in a parallel wave. Then we're going to have the centers pass through, and then we'll continue alternating calls until we resolve, if I can remember who's where. So let's have the head slide through. Near column, do a double pass through.
For those of you that are out there, the way that I kind of visualize what he's explaining is similar to the old chicken plucker. I just plucked 4 people across the square, didn't I? To get back, I pluck them back. And they don't have to be the same 4. But that's what I think about is that center line right here. So it's helped me out enormously thinking if I take 4 across, bring 4 back. Chicken pluck them over, chicken pluck them back. Okay, what do you want to do? That's right.
Everybody trade and roll. Okay, and everyone pass the ocean. Okay, Randy, why don't you, I'm going to give you the pleasure of calling to the ladies, and I'll call to the men.
Okay. Who gets to go first?
You go ahead.
Girls swing through.
Centermen trade.
Girls recycle.
Centermen run.
Girls do a right and a left through.
Centermen hinge.
Girls veer left.
Men diamond circulate.
Center girl hinge.
Men flip the diamond.
Girls cut the diamond.
Men trade the wave.
I'm getting tired of the girl calling for the girls. Can I call for the men?
No.
Oh. Center girl, run left.
Okay. Men trade the wave again.
All right. So now, I did my job. He's done his job. You see, we've got the girls in the left wave, boys in the right wave.
Okay.
We pluck 4 across. We're going to pluck 4 back.
Okay. Those who are facing pass through. It's your turn.
Now it's ready to, do some really neat, really get out. You got one?
I called the last call, so this is your call.
Oh, wheel and deal.
Okay.
Centers veer right.
Okay, go ahead.
Your turn.
Veer left. Centers veer left.
Oh, you missed a great corner there.
Okay.
Do a right and a left through. Your turn.
Oh, okay. Well, pass to the center. I guess you were looking for something.
That's okay. I'll try to set it up one more time. Do a right and a left through. Your turn.
Centers pass through. What am I missing?
That's it.
Okay. That's where we were. Centers pass through.
This is what I was hoping he would see. Centers veer right.
Okay.
And the boys do what? Pass through. See, I see that on the fly. Alaman left. Come back home, square yourself.
Okay. I don't see that on the fly, but this is
that's a whole different subject. So.
Yes, it is. It's a different subject. Yeah. That's why he and I would not be on the same program. Okay. So but you get the point of what I'm doing is that in terms of when you're working with another caller, that's a just an eye opener. I have a friend of mine that I work this with quite a bit, and the other call, like a cancer dance or something like that, and the other Carls will be out there going, how'd they do that? Did they have that memorized or something? Okay, if you don't know the trick, okay, and you can just call totally independently and get the whole thing back there. So that's a really fun thing to do.
It's almost like a game, which we just talked about.
Yeah. So, okay, let me, I put this book out there, and Mike Callahan picked it up, and he started working with it a little bit. He works a lot with mainstream, and a lot of this is not mainstream stuff. It's positional. But Mike pointed out something to me that I thought was just a great insight. We were doing men and women mini squares, okay? Mike pointed out you can do head sides mini squares, and it works exactly the same way. So let me give you a figure there. Heads lead right and veer left. Okay, bend the line. Okay, pass through, wheel and deal. Those with their backs to the caller do a zoom. I'm kind of focusing this on mainstream. Centers pass through. Heads identify. Okay, good. Step to an ocean wave. Heads, sure. Heads spin the top. Sides swing through. Okay, here's our T formation again. Centers run. It's tight. Couples hinge. Sorry. Yeah. Sides wheel and deal. Heads bend the line. Everybody right and left through. Side ladies lead Dixie style to a wave. Okay.
Before you go any further now, Hal, realize that he's still got all the heads together, all the sides together.
Yeah. It's a head sides mini square, not a men women. Okay. Side men cross run. Okay. Good. Those that are facing pass through, take each other's place. Good. Everybody wheel and deal. Yeah. The ladies. Forgot where this is going. Ladies swing through.
We're back into the symmetrical
now we're back in the symmetric thing. Yeah. Extend and slide through, and yeah.
Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel. We're getting there. Okay. Yeah. Zoom. Okay.
See, I would have done Dixiegram, but that's.
Yeah, I was trying to do a mainstream thing.
Okay. Square through two in the middle and the center two partner trait.
Okay.
So you see where he's going with that, guys? Any questions?
Okay.
Butch, hold on.
Okay. Sure. Questions are good.
Hal had said with the two ocean waves that you couldn't do the outfacers run or whatever from the ocean wave. And I'm trying to correlate that in my mind. And I think it correlates to this, and tell me if I'm right or wrong. Heads pass the ocean. They have an ocean wave in the middle, but they don't have leaders and trailers because they're an independent ocean wave. So I can't say in that wave leaders or trailers because the leaders and trailers are elsewhere. So is that wave that stands alone, is that what you're referring to when you have that wave out here, four boys that you can't do?
Yeah, I have 4 men, 4 women, and all I'm saying is your constraint in your calling is think about your men's wave as being the only wave there is. They're out there, you got just 4 men who are dancing, okay? Anything you can call to them, here's the rules, okay? You can't refer to a point outside of their mini square. Okay, that's what it boils down to. And the reason for that constraint is I've got the head men either in the middle or on the ends, and if I use that constraint, it will ensure that it stays with the head men on the middle or on the ends. If I violate that constraint, I will change it to, let's say, the head men being on both together on one end, at which point the normalization rule won't work. So the purpose of the constraint is to keep you in good shape for getting back to the symmetric region.
So if the ocean wave takes a step back and become partnerized, there's what he's talking about, a mini square or mini wave or whatever. So it's as if the sides weren't even involved in the ball game. An ocean wave is really thought of as like a box of 4 if you want to think of it from there. Okay? Go ahead and step into your wave and let's have him continue. Did you have something else?
No, as a matter of fact, at this time, the dancers, can you go ahead and sit down because I have a couple. I have some. We're gonna take it up to the next step. Okay, we're gonna move up a notch. this gives you a lot of flexibility, but admittedly, okay, it's constrained because you're calling to many squares. You know, we had the session on the two couple squares. That's basically what you're doing. It still feels a little gimmicky, right? Okay, and I want to get away from that. So if you say, okay, what I really want to do, I want to go over here into the asymmetric region, and I want to call with the same freedom that I call in my normal symmetric region. Okay, that's where we're going next. Okay, but we have a little more freedom, but we have to pay a price for that freedom as well. So let me talk about that a bit. First of all, here's the kind of the map for doing it. So the way you read this map is over on the left. It shows you from a static square. It shows you some methods of getting into the asymmetric region. Here's the constraint. When I'm in the asymmetric region, I cannot direct a call to the men or to the women. I can call to the centers, to the ends, to the in-facers and the out-facers. So that's the same places that I would normally call to the men or to the women. So that's not really a big constraint. I can't use any call in which gender is part of the definition of the call. There are three mainstream calls that have gender in the definition. What are they? Slide through, star through, ladies chain. Okay, you can't use calls that have gender in the definition, and you can't direct a call to the men or the women. That's the rule in this game we're going to play here. You can also not refer to a point outside the square. What I mean by that, you can't say, those facing the caller do something, because the caller is a point outside the square. If you live by those rules, and then those are very loose rules, then you have the same freedom, just about the same freedom as you do when you're calling in a normal symmetric thing. Now, how do we get out? That's the big problem. How do we get back to the symmetric region? Here's how we do it. There is a setup I call it the target setup, that is our gateway back to the symmetric world. Here it's the target setup is a setup where we have a man and a woman in each quadrant, and the head men are in diagonal quadrants. If I get there, then that's my gateway back to the world, because from there, if I get in a line or a two-faced line, I can do men fold and ladies fold, and I'm back to symmetric again. Okay? There are other methods, but I'm just teaching you the simplest way right now. So I need any way of getting to the target setup is a good one, but I need a procedure so that I can always get to the target setup. Here's my procedure. I'm going to set up when I'm ready to get back to the symmetric region, I'm going to set up same-sex waves again. There are three possible arrangements of the head men. The head men can both be on the centers or the ends. We saw that before. That's what I call this balanced arrangement. If we do that and we do a split circulate, we'll end up at the target setup. If I have the head men facing the same wall, I do a centers trade, which then gives me head men together on the end. Then I do an all 8 circulate. I'm at the target setup. So now I have a method of getting to the target setup, and from there, I just need to get in a two-face line or a line facing out and do a men fold, a ladies fold, and I'm back symmetric again. That's my method for getting back, okay? So let's have our square get back up, and we'll go through some examples of that.
So he's really talking about just two, simple operations, either the split circulate or the centers trade and everybody circulate.
Yeah, or if you find the two men together on the same end, then you just do an all 8 circulate. So this is a very lightweight rule. Okay, it doesn't take lots of calls. So let's just do an example. So one very simple bridge to get into the symmetric world is to have couples 1 and 2 do a half sachet. Okay, now I'm in the symmetric world because the diagonal opposite is the opposite gender. Okay, so Randy, just start calling to these guys. You can call within those constraints. Call whatever you want.
Anything I want.
Within those constraints, yeah, just call something.
Head, square through 4.
And we'll see the impact of having this gender, the asymmetry. See, we got 3 in one box now.
I see that. Did I call something that I wasn't supposed
Sure.
to?
No. I just want you to. Okay, I'll call.
I'll call.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I don't screw it up for you.
Yeah, I'm concerned about that too. But
if you have a majority of men in your box, do a swing through.
No. You just called to the men.
You just told me I could call anything I wanted to.
Within the constraints. The constraints are you cannot direct a call to the men or to the women, okay, and you cannot use one of the calls that has gender as a part of the thing. We're talking about the same kind of material. We're talking about the same kind of material that you would call in a normal symmetric square. Okay. Touch a quarter. I'll just call some stuff.
I was going to go with it.
Okay. Split circulate. Okay. Centers trade. Centers run. Bend the line. Okay. Pass through. Half tag. Walk and dodge.
You didn't really give me much of a chance.
I know. I'll give you a chance the next time. Okay. Do a partner trade. Good. Okay. Good. Pass the ocean. Okay, now I'm ready. I want to get back. I'm tired of this. AC-doocy. Okay, single hinge. And I've got same-sex waves. So this is my starting place of getting back. So what's my rule here? Okay, the head men are the red and yellow. Okay, they're facing the same wall. So my rule says I tell the centers to trade. So all the centers trade. Now I've got the head men together on one end. My rule says do an all 8 circulate. Okay? And now let's check out this target setup. Each quadrant has a man and a woman, and the head men are in opposite quadrants. Okay? I'm almost home free. Okay? Explode the wave. Good. Okay? Ladies fold. Bingo. I'm back into the symmetric world, and then I can go ahead and finish from here. Everybody star through. Good. And, do a Ferris wheel. And how are the centers? Centers sweep a quarter and back out. And we're back home again. Okay?
I have a question.
Yeah.
The target thing, I thought you were going to do the centers run, couple circulate, and then a fold. You didn't explode the wave. Did I miss something?
Okay. You have a lot of flexibility. You can be in any line or any two-face line and do a men or ladies fold, and you're back symmetric again. I picked a line facing out, okay? So it's not just one sequence. You have a big variety of sequences that just match this pattern. As long as you get them from the target setup does not specify formation. It can be any formation. So when I did the explode the wave, we were still in a target setup, boy and girl in each quadrant, and men in diagonal quadrants. From there I did a ladies fold, and that immediately put us back in the symmetric world. Okay, we have a question, but we need to follow the rules on the question here. Yes, that's the microphone rule. There are choreography rules and microphone rules. Yes.
Keith Ferguson, Saratoga, California. Are there constraints on how you get into that asymmetric in order for this method to work when you get out?
Okay, good question. Any method that will affect two adjacent couples doing a half sachet, because that's what it takes in order to be in the symmetric world. So any method you come up with, and I will show you some others, any method you come up with to do that will be good enough. There's a follow-up.
Just doing number one couple half sachet would get them asymmetric, but it wouldn't allow these rules to work?
That is an outstanding question. If I just did number one couple half sachet, then the square is half asymmetric. But if I continue dancing that way, I can never achieve 4 men in one line, 4 ladies in the other. If I do two adjacent couples half sachet, I can get any combination of people in line, genders in lines. I can do 4, I can do 3, and so on. If I just have couple one half sachet, they will be asymmetric, but I have much less flexibility. And why would I do something that gives me less flexibility? Just go for the one that gives you the full flexibility. Did you notice when they came out of back to the symmetric region? Did you notice that they all had their partners? Are you suspicious that I cheated? Okay. That was very helpful. Okay. I did have 1 chance in 8 of that happening. You know that, right? Okay. there are two very cool things about this target setup. One is that it's the gateway back to the symmetric region. Here's the second one. Whenever you get in the target setup, you will have the same partner. Okay, let me tell it a different way. Don't go away. This is just a second. Okay, let's say I start off the square in the target setup. Okay, and I have my original partner. I can go and call as long as I follow the rules. And when I get back to the target setup, I will have that same partner back. It doesn't matter what you call. I discovered this 25 years ago, and I was astounded. I could not believe that was true, and I tried to break it. And it took me another couple of years to figure out why that works. It's buried deep in the theory, but it works. That is an incredible benefit. Okay, so let me do that. Let me take advantage of that again. Okay, so couples. Let me do it a different way. Couple heads lead right and veer left. Bend the line. Okay, pass through, tag the line all the way through, and face the caller, bend the line. Butch has been troubling over that figure all day. Okay, now, so when I did face the caller, bend the line, it effectively had two couples half sashayed. So now I'm two adjacent couples. Yeah, not just any two adjacent couples. So now they're half sashayed. So now if you see, check on the diagonal opposites. It's the opposite gender. So that means we're in the asymmetric world. Okay, Randy, here's your chance. Call to these folks.
Boys.
No.
Why can't I say that?
No.
Because of the no gender thing.
Yeah.
Okay, load the boat, damn it.
It's like and spread. It's a suffix.
I had such a cool thing I was going to do there.
Yeah.
Swing through. Yeah. In, circulate.
Oh, by the way, when you get done with them, make sure they're in the same sex lines or waves or something. When you're done, just go ahead, just call a few calls, but I just wanted to be there.
Swing through double. Spin the top.
Randy's bored.
Hinge. Circulate. Face in. Past the ocean. Okay, I'm getting bored, so I want to get the boys together, see, in a wave. Center, circulate twice. Girls, take a peek and trade the wave.
No. You just called to the ladies.
Okay. So you want me to not?
No, we're there where I wanted to.
Okay,
to
you didn't want me to do the.
No, I don't want you to do the get out. Okay. Now, so we got to check where are the head men? Well, once again, they're on the ends. Okay. So our rule says
they're adjacent.
They're adjacent on the ends. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is head men together on the end. Okay. So it's all 8 circulate, get us to the target setup. Everybody play. All 8 circulate. And look at that, they all have their partner back. Okay? Because that is a huge benefit. The implications of this are huge. You don't have to, you can just call and you know who the partner is going to be when we're done. Okay? So let's have the centers run. Okay? Now, let's think about that. If I know that I'm going to be symmetric and the only thing I need to resolve the square is to know now whether they're in or out of sequence. Okay? So right now they're out of sequence. Okay, right?
Oh, they're in sequence.
Oh, red. Yeah. Okay, yeah, they're in sequence. Okay. So all I need to know is whether they're in sequence, and now I know everything I need to know to resolve the square. So I can do a call that lets me get symmetric and resolve the square at the same time. So everyone, here's an example. Everyone bend the line and circle left. Now the dancer, this is an asymmetric circle, and the dancers are getting really nervous because they didn't think, no, just keep circling left. They're really nervous because how am I going to get out of this? Okay, four men make a right-hand star. Aww. We are now symmetric. Pass your partner, find your corner, Alaman left. Come back and
wasn't that cool? He could have just swung the prettiest girl alongside. And
Well, yeah, you can also say, swing the person next to you, but right-hand star kind of flows real smooth. So let's review what happened there, okay? So I set them up. The thing that sets who your asymmetric partner will be. Your asymmetric partner is the one that shows up here. The thing that sets that is the bridge that you use to get into the symmetric world. So I have control of that. It's not always your original partner. It's whoever you set. So I set that up to be the original partner. We got there. We called whatever we wanted to. We got back to the target setup. I had my partner back. I checked to see whether they were in or out of sequence. And then I did a call where the men star right both normalized the square and it resolved the square at the same time. Okay? So that's very cool. Now the implication of this is I needed the head men to normalize the square, and I needed men 1 and 4 to know whether I was in or out of sequence. So once I get into the asymmetric world, I can fully resolve the square by sight calling on 3 people. It's 3 men, the 2 head men and the number 4 man. I don't even have to know about the ladies. I can fully resolve the square with watching 3 men. Let me give you another call. And this one's worked out ahead of time, but I use the same ideas, okay? So, head square through 4. Go ahead, just humor me and actually do the square through. Oh, wait a minute. Go back to home. I forgot to get you a half sachet. Couples 1 and 2, half sachet. We are now in the symmetric region. Couples head square through 4. Go to the outsides and step to an ocean wave. Spin chain and exchange the gears. Right half, 3/4, centers trade. Leading person, raise your hand. We have same-sex stars. Unravel to the other side. Now, what have I got? I've got same-sex waves. I can go right into my normalization. Okay, notice the head men are facing the same wall. I use my rules. Center men trade. Okay, centers trade, including the ladies. Good. All 8 circulate. Centers run. Couples circulate. We forgot to have the centers run, Jim. Yeah, should have been going the other way. Okay. Now, I want to resolve and normalize at the same time. Tag the line. Ladies go left, men go right. Alaman left. Come back and stand at home, promenade home. Okay, Gary has a question. Can I use your mic?
Gary Felton, the question is how you're using the term bridge, and the bridge there was the 1 and 2 half sachet. Is that correct?
Let me go back to my original figure here. What my terminology is this. When I start in the symmetric region and I move to another region, I'm saying that's a bridge module. So in my case, the bridge module was couples 1 and 2 half sachet. Any number of modules could work for a bridge module, okay? And then when I bring them back, I'm saying that's a normalizing module. It's my lingo, but I can use bridge modules to move all around different places. But I say a bridge to the asymmetric region and normalize coming back.
And that beauty of this method is that whoever is with you when you bridge is with you when you come back. Is that correct?
That's not quite correct.
Okay. I'm trying to understand what you said.
I understand. Okay. What you have to do is for any bridge module, you have to know who your asymmetric partner will be. In some cases, it's obvious. Okay, let me show you one that's obvious. Okay. Heads pair off and face your corner. Okay. Slide through. Okay. Pass through. Tag the line all the way through. Face the collar. And bend the line. Oh, wait, bend the line. That's fine. Okay. They are in the target setup right now, and everyone has their corner. Okay. I set this up purposely because I know it's a corner thing. So when we get back to the target setup, everybody's going to have their corner with them. So so in this sense, when they went in, they had their corner. So that's who they're going to have when they come back. And that's very cool because when they get back to the target setup, they're going to have their corner right there. You just have to check to see if they're in or out of sequence. Okay, you guys go back home. Okay, don't go back home.
Okay, remember when I was going to do something with the gender and he said, slap my hand, he said, no? Well, this, you can, if you know what you plan ahead, you can do things. Right now, he knows that he's got the corner. Okay? What's your name, sir? Okay. But that's his corner right there, okay? So, if I say, boys, point on the diagonals there, and you got a trapezoid, boys, trapezoidal circulate. Ooh, boys, trapezoidal circulate. Try spelling it. Okay. Girls, trapezoidal circulate. Girls, trapezoidal circulate. Even though I did some gender things, what have I done? I still kept corner.
They're still in that target setup. So, Randy's seeing the application of it where you can start bending the rules a little bit as long you can do special things as long as you know what the effect of it will be. So since he did it twice in both cases, he knows he's bringing them back. It's in a way like using an equivalent or a zero, because as long as you can do whatever you want to, as long as you're maintaining. Like, let me show you an idea. Okay.
Can I say one other thing before?
Sure.
What I did was a technical zero, because this guy was a center guy over there, and now he's the what? And she was an in, and now she's a...
Okay. Yeah. Past the ocean. Okay. I'm still in the target setup. Okay. Centers run. I'm still in the target setup. You can play games. This is kind of an extension of what Randy was saying. You can play games in the target setup, provided you don't take them out of it. So he was talking about the trapezoid. So now we have a same facing trapezoid. Men trapezoid circulate here. Okay. Ladies trapezoid circulate on yours. Okay. Couple circulate, move up here. Now this is really interesting. Normally when it comes to gender, when you do a couple circulate, you don't change the basic arrangement of men and women. When we did a couple circulate here, you totally change it. We were in a trapezoid before, now we have boxes. Ladies, working in your same-sex box, scoot back.
Ooh.
Men, working in your same-sex box, do a scoot back. Okay? Now here's the cool one. Everybody at the same time working in your same-sex box, scoot back.
Good luck. We've just entered the twilight zone. Okay. Has he done anything, though?
Okay, but see, they are still in the target setup. I'm doing all this stuff just playing around just before I resolve it. Okay, so all the, are we in or out of sequence? Let me see. We are out of sequence. Okay, let's have tag the line all the way through. Okay, face right, ladies fold, Alaman left, because I knew they had their corner all the time. Okay, and come back. Okay, so that's very neat. So once you're in the target setup, you can play around in the target setup with these trapezoid same-sex boxes, and as long as you don't leave the target setup, you're cool. You can come right back to this thing. So there is a huge amount of power that goes with this.
So far, he's only talked about the first 20 pages of his 80-page book.
Yeah.
All right. This is an amazing thing, and you can really get creative.
Now,
Question?
Yeah. This is a good time for questions because I'm about to change topics. I'm about to give it back to Randy for the next segment here.
Butch Adams again from Washington. Let me make sure that just one question that I asked before I'm straight on. Slide over and make me lines of 4, facing lines of 4. Pass through. Tag your line. Face Hal. Face Hal.
I'm Hal.
Face
Bruce.
Hal. Face Hal.
Everybody named Bruce and Eva, turn around. Yes, okay.
Now, this then is not the asymmetric reason. I have to still do a bend the line.
No. Butch keeps asking me this question. Let me answer it in public, okay? what he says, is this asymmetric? Okay, let me answer this in a technical way. There are 3 dimensions of asymmetry. You can have an asymmetric formation, arrangement, which is the men and women, or sequence. Okay, the fact of this is, okay, they are still in a symmetric arrangement. That is, when I look at the diagonal opposites, it's still the same gender. So they have a symmetric arrangement. Okay, they have a symmetric sequence. But the definition of a symmetric formation is diagonal opposites are facing the opposite wall. Always, if you think about it, your diagonal opposite always faces the opposite wall. In this case, the diagonal opposites are facing the same wall. That means this is an asymmetric formation, even though the arrangement and sequence are symmetric. Does that answer the question?
So you get it into your
As soon as yes, the question was, how do I get it into my scheme here? And the answer is, bend the line. As soon as I go ahead and bend the line. Now what happens? Now, all of a sudden, the formation is symmetric, but the arrangement is now opposite gender. Bingo, with the bend the line, that put us into the symmetric region with, now we now have an asymmetric arrangement. It only took a bend the line to make that difference. It's an interesting thing that, let me go back to this. It's an interesting thing that the asymmetric region is heavily about asymmetric arrangements. The mirror region is about asymmetric formations. The swamps of bad sequence are about asymmetric sequence, which is Randy's favorite. Okay, next, Randy has some, this has been like taking a class. Randy is like show and tell. So you guys go back home, and Randy has some material that is, I think, mirror material. And if we have time when Randy's done, then I will shift over and talk a little bit more about the mirror region, which is the area that Randy's going to be in.
Okay, before I do the mirror thing, I wanted to show, because we just talked about symmetry when it's arrangement and when it's formation-wise and that kind of stuff. Heads veer left. Good. Sides, work down both sides, do a right and a left through, and turn the girl a quarter more. So now we have a line of 4 on that side and a line of 4 on this side. And the symmetry is okay. But if I do certain things, it changes things around a lot. For instance, center 2 couples is couples trade. They were what? Heads. Notice? Okay? The couples not facing me, couples trade. Excuse me, let me repeat that in English. Those that were not facing me as couples trade. And now those couples would be looking at me. So, now, look what I've done. I've got a 4, 1, 2, 3. So, we are unsymmetrical depending on what the next call is. Okay? Depending on what the call is, we could be in a lot of trouble here. But if I say 4 by 4 to do the next call, 4 by 4 in your grand line, bend the line, nothing happened. See that the sides are across, heads are across? Undo what you did, guys. Unbend it, okay? That was a grand, or in your line of 8, okay? This line of 4 over here, to go back where I want, do a couples trade. And the center couples trade. And if you're not looking at me, do a partner trade. And look what I've done now. I got the sides in here in the middle, and the heads are on the outside. Depending on what I call, I can change into some really unsymmetrical stuff. Now, let's assume that these are A1 dancers. Okay? They're close enough. They're close enough. Okay. As couples, step and slide. Look what I've done. Now put all the sides together and all the heads together. Bend the line, and now I'm unsymmetrical.
And we're in the swamps. But, I would say you don't go in the swamps unless you have a plan for how to get out. Okay? And Randy always has a plan for getting out. But you spend a lot of time there, and I just want to warn people, if you go in the swamps, you got to have a plan for getting out. Okay?
I have a plan.
I know you do.
Oh, okay. What's that? Yeah, you have a plan too? Okay. Old heads, square through 4.
Oh, boy.
The good-looking side, square through 2. Trade by. Near box to me, you do a right and left through. And let's see what I've done if I got the swamps out of the swamps. Yeah, guess where I'm at, too. This guy's got his opposite lady, but these guys have their opposite lady, so that must be an O setup, right? Veer left, and I got an O line, two-faced. Bend it. Let's see, what do I want to do next? I got another new plan, okay? I don't know if I want to do this or not. Do a right and left through. Because Hal don't like it when I go to the swamps. The near box, to me, touch a quarter. The far box, touch a quarter and sweep a quarter. Better known as box kind of rotate. Okay. So now I got these boxes. I'm in the swamps a lot. Okay. Each box, quarter through. Number 3 lady, raise your hand. Do not move. I've planned this out because now I've been moving checkers around. I can say the other 3 ladies in your 3-sided polygon do a isosceles triangle circulate. Far wave, lock it. And look what's happened. I got all my heads here. I got all my sides there. I got a great get out. I got out of the A swamp stuff. Grand swing through. Explode the waves. Trade by. Through the middle, honey. You just messed up my great ending. Star through. Okay. I was going to do an Alaman left and a right and left grand, and on the third hand, that would have worked. Now that I screwed it up, just square your set.
Okay.
I had a plan. I just didn't follow through with it.
I understand.
Okay. You want me to go to the mirror now?
Just one second. I half answered Gary's question. Let me answer the other half of it. We used a bridge module, and I said that's what dictates who your asymmetric partner will be. And when we did this tag the line, face the caller, and bend the line, because at that point we're in the target setup, you know who that is. But there are some other bridge modules that you don't have a clue who it is. Let me give you one. Number 3 couple do a U-turn back. Number 1 couple walk across the square, put the centers in, cast off 3/4, and make lines at the sides. Okay, check out, now are we asymmetrics? Geez, we don't even know. So let's check out the diagonal opposite. Sure enough, it's the opposite gender. We are asymmetric. Who is the asymmetric partner? We don't have a clue. And when you have a bridge module that doesn't tell you, here's how you know. You work them to the to the target setup, you find out who that is, and you remember it for the next time, okay? So let's do that. The centers pass through. Centers run. Bend the line. Pass the ocean. Okay? Now I've got the men on the ends again. Okay? You guys always show up on the ends. Okay? All eight circulate. Okay? Who have I got? Okay, and I think it's your corner, right? Yeah, okay. So here's how, when I make up a bridge that I don't know what it is, I move them to the target setup. I note, that bridge is, in fact, a corner. My corner is my asymmetric partner, and I know from now on when I get in going that way, when I get out, they're all going to have their corner. So see, sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not. So what you do is you make a list of your bridges, and beside it you say, here's going to be the asymmetric partner, and you use one that makes sense, like your partner or your corner. Okay, I'm done, Randy.
All eight circulate. Center girls trade and spread. Alert, alert, swing through. Centers run. Centers hinge. You know how you have a lot of dancers say, they seem to be always lost. When you have certain dancers that look like they're always lost and they're looking over the floor to see where their counterpart is, they call that a lot of mirror dancing. I'm mirroring that guy. But they're mirroring that person. But in this idea. What the mirror is, this is a right-handed diamond, and that's a left-handed diamond. A little different terminology, using the same word, mirror, as if we were actually in a room looking in a mirror. Have you ever called in a room that had all mirrors on the walls? You ever tried sack calling, looking at the mirrors?
Tim, here's where the mirror is. The mirror is right down the center of the square. That's where the mirror is.
Diamond circulate. Flip the diamond. Alert, swing through. All right. Centers run. Centers hinge. I thought I understood Hal's stuff really good, so I thought I'm going to get really cute here. I'm going to call in these mirror diamonds a diamond chain through, but I forgot about the rule about the chicken plucker thing, because a plucker takes how many people across? 4. But the diamond chain through is only going to take 2, and it's going to be this guy, I'm telling you. Okay, you're going to end up over there, okay? All right, well, you'll understand later. All right. And honey, you're going to be over here with these 3 men, okay? So they do a diamond circulate. The centers will do a partner trade, and then you're going to be looking this way, honey. You're doing fine. Don't get nervous. Now cast off 3/4 with this guy. Yep. And I went into the swamp because I took 2 across and not 4.
Well, it's worse than that because when we have a mirror, the middle people are facing the middle people. Well, let me not interrupt. I'm sorry. You go right ahead, Randy.
All right. So I took 2 across. I could try to figure out which 2 were they. It was this guy here and this girl here. Okay? So if I just take them back across somehow, which if I said number 4 man and a 3 lady pass through, do that. Now I can continue. If they're not wearing pennies, I say George and Alice do something. Okay? But be careful. You plan ahead, so you shouldn't call that. And I thought, I'll be cute here. But I was thinking about doing like a 6-2 AC-doocy from the weird setup. Because my people down there in Texas, they're warped. They like that kind of stuff. So you have to be careful. But I'm back into the situation where I can say, those who can pass through today. And I just entered the region of back to fuzzy warm feeling. I didn't? Oh, well, not really. Okay. Bend the line. Star through. All right. Double pass through. Here's where it works, where I got to know 3 people now, 3 couples. Everybody cloverleaf. And it really helps good because I got pennies on them. All right. Far box, the men zoom. Okay. Now I've got 2 guy looking at his 2 girl. You're 3 guy looking at this girl. I'm pretty well set. Okay. Almost. Star through the middle. If you're not home, face your original position and do a right and left through.
Smooth.
Lucky they had pennies on.
Smooth dancing.
It was smooth. There wasn't anything. Don't give me that crap.
Randy, you said that your people are warped?
Well, no. Is that on tape? No. I have a few people that really eat and sleep and drink square dancing. They like this kind of stuff. By the way, we're not supposed to do infomercials, so I will not. But if you like any of this kind of material, I have different stuff up here. Come up and take a look at it. I can't tell you what it is, and I can't tell you the price of it, but come up and talk to me. Go ahead.
Okay. You guys have been up a long time, and I know that, but I'm just apologizing, but keeping you up. Okay. So let's. And I didn't think we would actually get this far. Actually, so let me. I don't really have where we're going on the handout, but let me go there. Now let's talk about the mirror region. Okay. Before I do that, let me go back and clean up the final word on the asymmetric region. we've done two different things that were totally different. One was same-sex waves, same-sex mini-squares, and the other one was this general asymmetric work, okay? How do they fit together? The obvious connection is the same-sex waves. So can I start with the same-sex waves thing and do whatever I want to, like call to the men, call to the women, and then go into a general asymmetric thing and use my rule to get out? And the answer is absolutely, but because you called to the men and women, you violated this constraint, and you'll get out fine. You just won't have the advantage of knowing who your asymmetric partner is, but it will work just fine. So I can call to the men and the women separately and then get out using this approach right here so they're integrated. Can I go the other way? Start with my general asymmetric. When I get them in same-sex waves, then go into one of the waves trade like Randy was going, and then finish like it was a same-sex mini-squares, only if I'm in the situation with the head men both on the centers and the ends. That was a condition of my finishing that way. So I get to the same-sex waves. If I'm in this condition with the head men on both ends or the centers, I can finish by getting one left-hand wave and have them pass through, and I'm home free. So that's the way the two integrate with each other.
We're really past time, Hal.
We are?
Do one more thing?
Okay. Then I'm not... Sure, go ahead.
Well, I gave 2 pages out besides the gimmick ones, and it's asymmetrical mainstream choreo, and then the second page is the plus asymmetrical choreo. I just want to do 1 or 2 of these things to show you how I still use a combination of his method plus knowing how to spot 3 couples. I always have that as an insurance policy for me, and I always keep track of where their home positions are. Is what on the CD? No, the handout is not on the CD. But I have plenty. I think we have plenty somewhere. Just want to show you this one. Number 4. Go down to number 4. It's side star through. Heads put trailers in between. Centers spread apart, in other words. Because I was on the mainstream. Okay. Pass through. Wheel and deal. Those facing me or the caller do a zoom. Centers pass through. Boys spin the top while the girls swing through. Look at your T formation when you get all done. Forget about it. Okay. All the centers run. Half tag. Trade. And the boys roll. Okay. What did I do with the girls there? Did you girls run? No? I thought I was going to end up with the girls looking in too. Centers pass through, boys, girls swing through, all the centers run, half tag, part. All right, let's go. The boys, same sex slide through. I think there must be something. Wish I hadn't picked that one. There seems to be a misprint. The girl looking out, you turn back. Slide through, girls. Okay, those who can, double pass through. I took 4 over. Okay, leads trade, square through 4. Okay, even though that I screwed up a line somewhere, I pretty well got it figured out. Wheel and deal, centers pass through, pass to the center and slide through. Centers do a right and left through. So you might want to check that. But all of these, don't just try to take this sheet of paper home and put it out on your table and use 1 or 2 of them. If you don't practice it and move your checkers, you can get in a lot of hot water. All right? How about a really nice hand for Hal Barnes?
Thank you.
He has put a lot of his time and effort into doing this and making it free to all the CALLERLAB members. It will be in the members only thing if you want to go there, or if you order the MP3s, you're going to get all of this stuff.
I thought there might be additional questions, or I knew we'd probably go over. I signed up for this room like at 5:15, like a birds of a feather thing. So if anybody wants to have questions about this, or if you want to learn about how that mirror formation area works, come back at 5:15. Don't feel like you have to. And we'll be very informal and can talk about that area. Thank you very much for coming.